Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time this podcast is finding you at. This is my wake up podcast. You are not tired, you're just uninspired, and I am here to help you. I am the creator and founder of Life Minded and Free. I am focused on helping women who are unfulfilled live above mediocrity and create a life of their wildest dreams, because you can have financial and time freedom. You can have a good marriage. You can have a good relationship with your kids. You can have a good faith, a good health. And I'm here to show you how not only I did it, but how I was able to teach thousands of other women to do the same thing. So welcome to the show. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I think that that's the hardest thing that people have, that they struggle with, including myself, is knowing what to actually do next and then doing it. I mean, because I could spill out a list of 100 things that I need to be doing right now and creating. And there's a lot of things I do know that I need to do. I don't know necessarily how to do them, but I know that they need to get done. And so we can write down all of those things. But to me, it's like, I am looking for someone that can tell me, here, do this. Like I do that for people that I coach and lead them to that. I don't have anyone that can do that for me. And that's how I know that it's a really big need, is because I have really yet to find anyone out there who does it. A lot of coaches won't give you any kind of personal feedback or opinion, and all they do is keep asking you, well, how do you think it should go, and what do you think you should do? And that's great to a certain point, but sometimes it's like, I need you to tell me, because I don't know. So like how I said yesterday when I messaged you, Cammie, about like, oh my gosh, I wish I could just hire you to do my stuff, because it's not like, oh yeah, you can hire me, sure, tell me what you need. I don't know what I need. I need someone to be like, you know what you need, Taryn? You need a link tree with all of these things on it. And you just tell me what products you recommend and tell me, and then I'll go and build it all for you. Like, I think that person would be so valued, because like, as you're talking about Sway, I'm like, oh, Sway, that sounds amazing. Here's another thing that I have to do, and I'm going to start it. I'm like, okay, I'll go to sway.com. I'll get started. I'll create the account. I'll do all the things. And then now it's just like another thing on top of all of the other things that I said that I was going to have to do. And I think that as an entrepreneur, that's when it gets so overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh. And then you spend so much time doing all of these little things because it's easy to start. And then it's not easy to keep going. And it's not easy when you're frustrated because you can't figure it out. And so you kind of just have 100 pieces moving a little bit, and then you're stressed out because you're not producing an income. And it's like, it's not about starting 100 things. It's about starting and completing one thing or two things. You'll be further ahead just by completing a couple of things versus trying to do all the things. So it's like, what's a good idea? What should I do? What should I start? And this is what's currently holding me down, and I struggle with daily so much. And I know that it's also what all of the people struggle with, because I can see it. I can see people having the ideas, but just not knowing what to do next. So I want to figure this out so that I can help close this gap. And I can say, oh, hey, listen, here's a bridge. I know it's hard. Here's what I did, and it helps. And for network marketers, it really is like the same steps. It's like, you should have a link tree. This is what you should have in your link tree. You should be posting about this. Here's how to do that. And that's what I want to create for anyone trying to build a business online, is getting super clear with what you want and then going forward.
And I can resonate 100% with everything you've said. And I have been the person in the past who has 50,000 tools, and I start them and then just drop them. That's been a very big thing for me. But I can tell you, based on my recent experience with healing, from child abuse, is that things turned around for me when I started learning how to believe in myself and learning how to believe in my creativity. Because if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't believe in what you're doing, whether it's a sway or it's recruiting into bio, whatever it is, if you don't believe in the results, that's why people drop things. People drop things, me personally, and maybe there are a lot of people like me, but people like me drop things because they don't believe in themselves. So when we can help people to get to the point where they, and a lot of this means you have to recognize the trauma in your life, because the trauma in your life is what's holding you back. It's holding your inner child back, right? That's the key right there. So when we focus on belief and helping people understand in themselves and why they are the way they are, it boils down to belief. And so that's been the big thing. So the fact that I made the post on my Instagram yesterday about the bio sale was a big growth moment for me, because I never believed in myself enough to get to the point where, well, I'll post about this. I don't care what people think, it's helping me. I like them, they like me, we like the same thing. So it's posting. That post yesterday was big growth, big belief in myself, right? So I feel like that's the bottom line. So I don't know if that speaks to you, Taryn, about like believing in yourself. I don't know.
Mhm.
You know my story, a little bit of my story, but belief in yourself has been everything for me. So
Definitely can see how that would be a thing. And that's an interesting perspective, because it takes a lot for us to believe in ourselves. So we can do the beginning of it, of like, okay, I can do this. I got this. I can do it. And if you're not like that, and if belief comes easy, then you don't understand the struggle. But for me, it takes so much in me to believe in myself that one, like the saying is 1% doubt and you're out. And it truly is, because I've realized that it's not that I don't know what to do next. It's that the belief in myself is shaken a little. And so it's like, okay, well, that was stupid. Let me do this. Okay, no, I don't think, let me do this. And really, it's like, okay, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You're just not fully committing and believing it. So you keep just jumping around. And that's why I'm a huge believer in writing things down, because if you can write them down and see what the plan was, you're constantly going back and reminding yourself, like, okay, this was the plan. Remember, like, you should have your mission statement written down in front of you. You should have your ideal target market person written down in front of you. You should have their pain points written down in front of you. You should have your social media plan written down in front of you, so that you can see. And when maybe you get rejected, or maybe you just feel like you're in a funk and you can't get out of it, and you're going through some stuff mentally, or life gets crazy, it's like, okay, this was my plan. This is the plan. I have it in front of me. This is the blueprint. It's not like you're just forced to remember everything, because also our brains change and they play tricks on us. And what you're 100% for sure about today that is happening is how you feel. This is it. Tomorrow, it can be totally different because of our lens of emotions that we're looking through. And so you have to have it written down, because it'll shift in your head. It'll warp. Your brain's like water. And if it's in your head, it's going to like warp away. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, what did I say I was going to do? How does that look again? And then as an entrepreneur who's making money solely online, there's so many options. There's so many things to do. There's so many people to help. Once you figure out that you do have some value to give, now there's like so much value, because you're like, wait, I could give value on this. Oh, I could give value on this. I could do this. I could do this. And it's like the person, and this is what I'm realizing, the person on who's social selling, who is just, here is everything, that person isn't successful because there's too much that they're talking about and they're just too shallow. They can't go deep enough with anything, because they're going to lose some of their audience if they do that, because you're trying to appeal to every single person instead of appeal to a specific person. And that's what I'm realizing in my own brand is the issue for me. And you might have to come back to the drawing board over and over and over and over and over again. Like constantly keep going back. I need to go back right now where I'm like, okay, I need to sit back down, because you do evolve, you do change, things happen to you. So you change in results of that. And decisions lead us down different paths, and different connections lead us to something different. And we're constantly evolving and changing. So what you even wanted last week might be totally different than what you want today. You're like, oh, wait, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I have more clarity. Because as you learn about yourself and as you focus on yourself and you dig in and you figure out, who am I? What do I want? Why am I here? And as you walk that path, you're going to constantly get more clarity. I picture walking through a path in the woods, and then all of a sudden, like all the trees are cut down and it's just a meadow and it's just clear. You can see so far and you're like, whoa, I had no idea. Or when I vacationed in the mountains in Tennessee and it was really foggy, and the last day the fog dropped and we could see that our view from our house was this beautiful mountainous view that we had no idea was there until the last day we left, because we couldn't see more than 10 feet in front of us. And it's like the fog settles, the clarity is there, and you see things and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the path that I want to do next, or this is what I want to go deeper on. But you have to spend time alone, and you have to spend time with God, and you have to spend time really like journaling and figuring out, what is that I want, and how do I want to do that? Because once you feel good, and Cami, it's great that you started posting about your products that you're selling, because it's like you were just ready to do that. Your brand was at a point and you felt clear about how you were talking and what you were doing, that you were like, I'm ready for this. And it just so happened. And a few days ago, you didn't feel like, oh, I need to make a post, I need to do this, because you just weren't ready. And so when your brand comes together and you have crazy clarity on your brand, that's when it's like, okay, now I'm going to start posting about products. Now I'm going to start posting this value now. And it all just seems easier once you figure it out. It's just like getting into your lane is hard, but once you're in the lane, then you just go with the traffic and you're like, okay, now this is just easy for me.
Right. And that boils down to belief in yourself. And it boils down, when you believe in yourself, you can pivot to wherever it is that you're needed, because like you said, things change so quickly. And you can wake up one day and feel empowered and in control of your brand and what you're doing, but then you can have times where your belief starts to wane a little bit. And so it's just really believing that you are worthy of success and you are worthy of value. And it's just been this, and ever since my mother passed away, it's really been very eye-opening, and I feel very free. And so, and for everybody, well, it's like I'm just talking to you, Taryn, but there's other people on the call. What happens when you have the screen on just the one person, the host, right? But I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, it really does all boil down to belief in yourself. It boils down to belief in the compensation plan. It boils down to belief in the products, and feeling like you can connect with your upper leadership, and just seeing people in action. And it's just it's the belief. And abuse and trauma they steal the belief from you. And I don't have a problem talking about trauma and abuse, because I'm not the only one who's been through it. I'm shocked by the number of people who have a story similar to mine. And just know that if there's someone here on the call today, and if you've been through abuse, your belief was taken away from you, and your worth and your value were taken away from you. It's there within you, right? It's just a matter of finding it. And then it's like believing in these products to the point where they put me in a state of mind where I'm calm, and then I can focus on the belief without any fear. So anyway, you just got the whole Cami story, or at least part of the Cami story. Join Cami at Bio. My entire team's going to be full of abuse survivors. So it's, oh goodness. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to share. Belief is everything. So with these Sway digital storybooks, I'm going to make mine, and then I'll duplicate it, and I'll make it very universal and generic for everybody to use. Maybe it'll be a great tool that helps you, but
Well,
that's all.
yeah, thank you for that, for the tip, and just for that wisdom. And what's cool is that you do get to build a team filled with people that you are able to help, and you have a lot in common. And that's the beauty of having a brand, is because the people that you are connected to are so much like yourself, and you feel like you instantly are connected and you instantly hit it off. And that's just easier to work with people like that and to pour into people like that. And yeah, it's just way more fun to be around people like yourself than around people who have no idea what you're going through and they can't get you. So it's just really great. And so the branding course that I created all year took me a long time to do, but was finally up and is finally here. It can be overwhelming. Like, the biggest problem I've seen is that people just haven't taken it, where they're like, I know I haven't passed video 1. I need to do the rest. I know. And so it's just like, number 1 is having the time to do it. And I hear you. I've been trying to go through these master classes for this company that I enrolled. And they're like training program, and it is like, it's taking me forever. There's like 10 of them, and I've done 2, and I really need to do the other 8, and I just keep putting it off. So I get it. So if you don't know anything about a brand, and you don't know, you have all these things that you need to do and videos you need to record, and 2 little tips I want to give you is, 1, don't get sucked into Instagram and Facebook ads telling you need to buy something else to finish what you're doing. That might throw you off. And although every ad that people post sounds amazing, and if they're offering something for free, then like, why not? Let's just do it. It's free. I'll sign up for this email. I'll sign up for this masterclass. I'll sign up for this thing. Sometimes that can overwhelm you. And so you have to learn to say no, or to say, I can't mentally even look at that right now because I have to finish what I'm doing. So that's a really big thing for me, because I constantly want to do the next thing and the new thing and the shiny thing. And, oh, okay, let me do this. Like Sway, it's so easy for me right now to be like, oh, let me figure Sway out. Where it's like, no, Taryn, stop. You have like 100 things in Canva you need to figure out first. And you also need to record those videos you said you were going to record. And you also need to do your link tree you said you were going to do. Like, so that's the first thing, is don't get distracted by any shiny dollar or shiny thing over here, making it seem like it's easier or better. Obviously, there are things that people have value that they're giving that we need. So really just think, do I actually need this? Do I want to do this? Am I ready for this right now? Or is this something that I maybe need to come back to after? Totally, Tracy, 100% is what I do that too. I start all these projects for my brand, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote like the first 3 chapters of all the books I want to write. Like, how about you just write one of them? And how about you just do what you were going to do? Yeah, I get the struggle. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is, sometimes we're just overcomplicating it, and really sit down and think, what type of person do you want to help? Like, what would be the funnest person for you? Like, what do you really like to do? Because there could be so many different things that you like to do, but who do you like to pour into? Who do you like to give value to? What do you like to create? What do you like to do? Because if you do it around your likes and your passions, it's going to be a lot easier because you're doing something. Now, sometimes we get distracted with what's going to be easier, or what's going to be faster, or what's going to make us more money. And that only pulls us down And it really just slows down everything, because you're like, okay, I'm going to do this because this is how I think I'll be able to make money fastest. And so you start doing that, but because you chose that you're going to make money the fastest, it wasn't actually the path for you that you were chosen to be on. So everything's just going to feel a little off. The terrain is a little messed up. Everything is not going to really feel like it comes together. It's always going to kind of feel like you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You might be able to do it, but it's going to be way harder. And then let me just tell you, down the road, you're going to be like, okay, forget this. I don't even care, because now I'm not even making money faster, because it's not even where I'm supposed to be. I need to do and be true to myself. But yeah, Victoria, yes, we would love to hear from you. She private messaged me and said she would.
Can you guys hear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm on my cheap AirPod or Air headphones because I lost my AirPods and I'm on a walk.
Oh, you sound.
So obviously I'm in a different situation with the stuff that I'm working on. But it's funny because it's just based off of like the same principles that just can literally be applied anywhere. And I was in this place yesterday, Taryn, like what you're talking about, just like, oh my gosh, like starting a new social media platform, doing this. And I have like a list. It's like my brain dump list that I just add all of that stuff to. But something that I was really overwhelmed yesterday, just because of everything going on in Idaho. And I just called up somebody that was like 40 years older than me and had a conversation and was like, I need an unbiased opinion. And if I had $10,000, I would, hire a strategist or somebody to help me with strategy. But we talked a lot about just like biblically what it looks like. And yesterday, it was just very clear to me, like I'm praying for, and this is something you guys can do, is like praying for a wise and discerning heart, and that you are empowered to make big decisions, even on little things like using Sway or using a different platform or something like that. And I don't know. I don't know that it's advice. It's reiterating those things. And Taryn, I know we have talked about it, but like kind of having like a vision / path to victory type, like what would Taryn's higher self do? What would Victoria's higher self do? Are those things aligning with my values, principles, morals, beliefs, and mission? If they don't, then they can kind of get put on the back burner. If they do, and it's going to be really helpful, then that's something that you can entertain. And like, that's how, I don't know that it's like extremely effective because I'm like trying to figure it out right now, but that's what I've been like coming back to every single day, is like this overwhelm. Like there's some days I'm like, good Lord, I just need to go take a nap, and I wake up and I'm refreshed. And there's some days that I have to go for a walk, and there's other days that I have to speak with somebody that's not 23 years old and has more wisdom. And it's just like the turning and the pivoting. I don't know who was just talking about the Cami. It's like the turning and the pivoting, and it's like it's never going to be a finished product. It's just, you are never going to be a finished product. You're just turning and pivoting to whatever. And it's not that you're like being swayed, it's just that you're growing, you're learning, you're getting more information, you're getting more confidence, more belief. And with that, your actions change. So I don't know that it's advice, but I'm in a different fight. And I think that these are just like life principles that can literally be applied anywhere. So thank you.
Yeah, I just put that on my post-it note on my computer, that you're never a finished product. You're turning and swaying. I think that that's huge, because that's kind of what, and if you're a perfectionist and if you're someone who likes to be in control, you like when things are completed. And so that's what we're constantly working for, is like, when is this just going to be done, is what I keep thinking. Like, when is my brand just going to be done? And like, everything is just like flowing and it's posting and I'm consistent. And I'm like, yep, every day, like boom, 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 doing all the things. Like, when is that ever going to happen? I know that that's what I need to do in order to get to a place, but it's like, it feels like it's never going to happen. And it actually isn't. Like, it's not, because we are turning and swaying. We are evolving. We are changing. That's a really good point. And I love that you said that you had to talk to someone that had more experience and was wiser, to ask them what are their thoughts, and be honest and tell me the truth. What do you see? Because we are called to do that in the Bible for sure. So good job.
And we are not supposed to do this alone. Like, obviously this call and like everything that you do every morning is a testament that like you can't do network marketing alone. You can't fight a good fight alone, right? And so I think like Taryn, obviously, like I could just ask you randomly, like, what are your thoughts of this? And like get perspective from a bunch of different people. And obviously that's overwhelming, but it gives you a higher level overview of like what's going on, because I'm a perfectionist and I can spend all day. Oh my gosh, yesterday I spent all day working on this one thing on our website. One thing, not like I didn't get much done. And if I had somebody say like, Victoria, your best is some people's like 100% and just continue and keep going, like it would have saved me so much time. And so like part of it is like knowing and valuing your time and being like, I know my best isn't perfect, but it gets the job done and I can refine it. And that's something, I mean, that's biblical too, is just like refining through fire. Like when you're going through things, God will refine that. He'll make it better. He'll make it new. But like you have to start somewhere.
Yeah. 100%. Done beats perfect. And that's something that changed everything for me. Is I was just, okay, I don't care. As long as it's done, delegate it. It's fine. It doesn't have to be as good as I would do. It doesn't have to be even half as good. Like it just needs to be done. And that has helped me a lot too. A ton. Thank you for sharing that. That's so good. Yeah, Terry says messy action. Absolutely. Tracy just said in the chat, without these calls, I feel most of us would at times feel it's easier to quit, but having support and making real friendships, it gets you through those valleys, like you always say. It is true. You can't do this alone. And that was my ultimate decision of staying in the industry, is that I find so much value being together, connected as a group of people, whether they're on these morning wake up calls to inspire each other, or it's on a one-on-one call, or I love getting together like retreats and conventions. And I love all of that, because network marketing aside, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You need to be around a group of people that are like-minded to you, that want to have a better life, that want to be focused on those things. Because like I talked about the other day, when you're out in the real world, most people don't care about that. People are just content with being unhealthy and overweight and having to be on a prescription the rest of their life. People are just content with having a terrible marriage and hating their spouse. They're just content with it. They don't need anything more. They're content with their job that they hate, that they're miserable and dread all weekend, that they have to go back to work on Monday. But you know, the world says get a 9-to-5, work till you're 65, retire, live on a fixed income. So I should just be grateful that I have a job. It's like, no, that's not how you should be. So when you're out in the world, you start having worldly views. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to have worldly views. I want to have views from the word and from God and what he says to do, because I tried to do it the other way. And one thing that I'm hearing from God a lot lately is for me to say my story, is for my recent story of what just happened with me and the changes that I've made over the last year, because it is insane to me how much I've changed over the last year. And I went from all I care about is money, rank, and recognition, and I will die for my company, and I will die to be a millionaire, and I will do anything that it takes to get there. And now I'm literally like working full time for free for my church. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, how did I just totally go from like this is everything to like, I don't want anything and I just want to serve. And it's really so crazy at what's happened because I just started following what I was supposed to do. So like I can speak from experience that just reaching for all of the worldly big things aren't going to get you the happiness and fulfillment that you think you're going to want to. Now, do I still want to be successful and make a boatload of money and do a bunch of stuff? Yeah, because that's what's going to impact the world. And I want to now inspire people to, I want to be, I was telling my friend at church yesterday, I want to be the spark that lights people's wicks, that gets them, like, I feel like everyone has like dynamite, you know, like the old cartoons, and they would like wrap you in dynamite, and like the big long wick would be like going out of the cave. It's like Wile E. Coyote or whatever. And I feel like what are like Toy Story when they strap the rocket to his back and they're like lighting the end, you know, and he's about to blow up. Like for me, I think of myself as this like bouncing spark that's just constantly sparking. And if I'm inspired and I'm following God and I'm doing what I want to do, what I want to do is bounce around, and I want to give you a spark to blow up your rocket to take you to where you were supposed to go by how God created you to be. Because that to me is what I care about, is all of these people in the world, all of us women that know we're made to do something, that have it in us, don't know what it is. I want to inspire you to live out your God-given calling by using your talents and being different than the world, and starting businesses and starting nonprofits and starting organizations, and validate and inspire your own group of people, because that's really when the whole world is changing, when everyone's in alignment for what they were supposed to do in their own calling. Like I say all the time, you weren't born to just pay bills and die one day. That's, nobody is born and created to do that. But yet most of us get stuck in that rut where that's all we're doing. It's just the mundane of your life, and you're just existing, and you don't feel like you're alive. You don't feel like you're living. That's what I want to do. If I find out that someone is working with me and they feel dead on the inside, they feel like they're just merely surviving, that would not be okay to me, because that is like my number one thing, is I want every single person to feel alive. I don't give a crap how much money you're making. I don't care if you haven't promoted in 10 years. I don't care if you are like, you know, my team, or I haven't gotten customers, or my brand's not coming together. Like all of those things to me really do not matter. The bottom thing that matters is that you feel happy and you feel fulfilled. That's what I want to do, because people that are happy and fulfilled go out and change the world. If you feel happy and fulfilled, everything else is going to go into place. But don't have it backwards and chase the happiness and fulfillment from money and things and recognition and physical things that you can obtain here. It's about so much more than that. And I want a group of women that are world changers. I don't want to just have a network marketing team. I want a team of women that are all like, I do not want to live in mediocrity. I do not want the devil to keep me small. I want to bust through walls. I want to do something to change the world. That's who I want to connect with. That's who I want to be working with, because when it comes to making money online, there are so many options. There's millions of things that you could do to make money online. And so I love network marketing for the community that it brings to you. But what if we just made a community, and this is what I'm going to be doing next, is making a community of everyone who wants better lives. Because there's a lot of people that don't like network marketing, or who don't want to do network marketing, but they want a better life. They want to impact, they want to make money online, they want freedom. But the network marketing is what has tainted people, even me, to be honest with you. Like even me. And I've been really honest with a few of you that we've talked to one-on-one, but I'm just burnt out. I hate this industry sometimes. Sometimes this industry just irritates me to my core. that fear and scarcity can just be so strongly spoken into someone's life and make you feel like, I was talking to a leader in the industry, a really high up leader the other day, and I just was telling her how much I hate this industry. I'm like, I literally just hate it, because we were talking about these new companies that were opening, and this one guy from this one company now broke off and started his own company, and now all these people joined him, and we were talking back and forth, like, their product sucks. Like, why are people even joining that company, is what she said. And I said, it's because all of these companies are pretty much the same. And that's why I joined Bio, because Bio is not. And I'm not saying every single company is the same, because there probably are some companies out there like Bio. I'm sure we're not the only one, but the majority of these big companies out there are the same. And it's just which company can look the coolest, the fastest growing, the fastest ranked, the coolest products. And it's just a hype game. It's like, who's the best at selling their opportunity, recruiting for their company. These owners at the top of the companies are really just like the top leader of the company. It's their whole team. We're all on their team. And it's just a hype game. Like, we're so cool. Look at us. This person promoted. We have this promo. We get weekly pay. We have this new hot product. Look at this. It's unlike anything else. And get in, you'll make money the fastest. And it's all just scarcity and fear. Like, you need more, you need to be more, you need to hurry up, time's running out, do this fast because you're gonna love it. And then that flame burns out, and then it's like, okay, look over here, look at this stuff, look at this, it's so great. It's like, and then everyone's like, okay, let me go over there. And then you're there and your flame burns out. And then it's like, look at this, and look at this, and look at this. And it's like, that's just what people keep doing. And it's like, that's why, these people that are career network marketers, where they've been in, and this might have even been you, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 companies. I've been in 3 companies so far. And it's because this industry is just meant to be a revolving door. It really is. Yes, Alicia.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were going to finish so fast. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yesterday I saw a post from Jessie Lee, and it was interesting. Like, I kind of like was reading between the lines and what she was saying. I mean, not necessarily reading between the lines, because I think she was just being super honest about how she was feeling. But she was like, yeah, last month was not a good month. And she broke up with her boyfriend and all this stuff. And, because she puts her whole life on social media. But she was just like, okay, me and my team, we're going to regroup. We're going to get it together here. And, we're going to go hard in September. But she also took off, her and her dogs. Like, she did all this planning with her team. And she took off, her and her dogs, and went to a tiny house and is spending the weekend in a tiny house by herself, and just doing some reflection and regrouping. And I mean, look at her. She's been in this industry for a while. She's super, super, big in network marketing. And I could just feel that from just the little words that she's in her post, that, yeah, people are getting burnt out. And it is like the shiny new thing over here, look over here, do this thing. I think that we have to keep pushing towards changing the industry so that people can see that there's a better way to do it. Otherwise, people will just burn out and do something else. They're just going to quit. They're just going to hate the industry, and they're just going to quit, and they're just going to be done. And it'll get to the point where they'll stop looking at the next new company, the next new shiny company that came up, and they're going to be like, oh, that's not worth it, because I know they're all the same. I've already been through 5 companies and they're all the same. It's all the same people. It's all the same model. It's all the same. And I never make any money, and it's frustrating, and I hate commission breath, and, like all of the stuff. I think we have to collectively, and I know that we aren't the only ones there. I've seen like tricklings of other network marketers out there who are talking about doing it a different way. I'm listening to other people like mentors and people in this type of industry that are talking about the industry is changing. It's going to be different. It's, moving forward, it's not going to be the same. So you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to evolve. You're going to have to do things a different way. And I think that part of it is going to be this whole thing with finding our own brand and finding our something else, and letting network marketing be just like a pillar of what we do, and letting it be just a part of what we offer, and not I am a BioRain's ambassador. Like, that's not us. That's not what we are. I am a life coach. I am a health and fitness coach. I am all those things. And I also offer this. So finding that thing that you're really, really good at, and using network marketing as a tool to offer more on top of that, or as an additional, is where it's going to be. It's not going to be like I'm this, lifetime network marketer, and this is my whole job in my life, and this is what I do. I mean, there may be some people who still find success in that way, but I think going forward, the industry is going to be different. Because I was talking about this yesterday on the call. People are going to start looking like college is it's not so appealing anymore. It's not as appealing as it was 5 to 10 years ago, with the high costs of going to college and then coming out with really high student loan debt. And it's just not as appealing as it used to be. And so people are finding what they're good at, and they're honing in on that, and finding what they're passionate about, and not going to school to learn about, not going to a 4-year university and taking all these classes just to hone in on the one thing that they're good at. They are going and they're finding other people who have done that thing that can collapse time for them and teach it to them faster, so that they can get on their way of doing that thing, whatever it is. And then we're going to start collectively as a society are going to just start looking for people in that way. We're just going to start, like, we want to learn about, I don't know, crafting or whatever, like finding the person that is good at crafting, not I'm going to go to craft school. Or
well, even Tony Robbins was saying that recently, how he was talking about just the college industry in general, and that people are even now more so self-taught through courses online by someone who's went through it than actually going through college courses themselves. And we're going to start seeing a huge shift in education. And sure. I've already started seeing that. I mean, now, like, go into the schools and ask my kids' friends in 7th grade, what do you want to be when you get older? And almost all of them say things that were never even things back when I was younger. People aren't saying nurses and teachers and doctors. They're saying influencers, like YouTubers, vloggers, designers. Yep. Like my one son, he's like, I just want to do video footage for different vloggers. And he's like, that's what
that's a thing. Like that will be something that somebody needs.
Because people are using advertising. Like, if you think about it, it's real. And this is what made me make my change, is that I've always been ahead of the curve. Like, I can see the change, and I have the confidence to jump and to say, like, I'm just going to do it. And then everyone else can follow, because I'm a risk taker and because I can make decisions quickly. And that's what boiled down to my change. And what I was doing is I was seeing, like, I've recruited over 300 people in network marketing over the last 7 years, personally recruited that many people. And what, I have a handful of people that are left doing this, literally a handful of a few people that I've personally recruited that are still left doing this. And all of these other people, because the industry is like, it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Recruit, replace, and we're all like, okay, we'll do this because this is what they say and we want it so bad. And then I just stopped for a second. I was like, what is going on? Like, wait a minute. The problem isn't recruiting, because I'm recruiting. We're recruiting. We're bringing people in. The problem is in, okay, how can I recruit? I can get anyone to join me. How do you get them to stay? And then when I dug into that a little more, it's like, people don't want to do this job. It's just like my other jobs. When I was a telemarketer for the MDA, we would get tons of people to show up. People would come in and they would say they want that job. It was a revolving door in there. It was me and one other girl named Taryn. We were the only two that had been there for like 4, 5, 6 months. Everyone else rotated in and out. They would last like maybe a week and quit. And the problem wasn't recruiting. The problem was that the job sucked and people would join it and they would start. And after like 3 days, they're like, oh, heck no, like I cannot do this. And that's exactly what's happening in network marketing is they're buying into the freedom of, okay, I need time. I need more money. I want to be home with my kids. Okay, I'm going to do this. They see a couple people are successful. I'm going to do this. Then they see how hard it is and how you're doing all these things you don't want to do. And you're not even getting results yourself. Okay, you get a couple customers. Okay, you get a couple ambassadors. But those ambassadors join you and realize this sucks. And after a month, they don't reorder. And then you're back to having no ambassadors. So then you feel like a loser because now you just put yourself out there and it didn't work. And now you're feeling like a bad leader. And if it was so hard to recruit and get one person to join you who then leaves next month, imagine how long it's going to take you to make 6 figures. Like, is something miraculously just going to happen when it's like, oh, okay, now everyone's sticking? No, that's not going to happen. And so when I'm like, everyone, hello, open your eyes. What is going on in this industry? What are we doing? This isn't working. We're losing good people. The world used to advertise products through ads in the newspaper. Think like way back when it was newspaper ads, it was billboards, it was flyers in your mailbox, it was signs up in your city hall and around the place. Like that's how people were advertising. They were going door to door. They were doing it. Then it was commercials and then it was ads on the radio. And then they realized when social media became a thing is that people want to buy products from people that they already know and trust and care for. And so then it was, who can you recruit from your friends and family because they know you, love you, and trust you? Well, then it was a step further and it was actually people aren't going to long-term purchase from you by just being your friends and family. They'll purchase once to help you out, maybe if you have a supportive group of people. But in reality, unless the product really does something for them right away, they're really not going to stay a customer forever. Maybe they just tried it out for you, tried to help you out. If the product works amazing, then great. Even those people fall off. And so what they realized was that if you have this person who has a social media presence, they're giving value, you know what they stand for, and then they start talking about a product they're selling and a product they're using and how it works for them and how it's helped them with this certain issue, then people want to buy it because they already look up to that person. It's everyone now has the opportunity to have that celebrity status type thing of you see the Kardashians using a certain makeup and you're like, oh, I want to use that makeup if you follow the Kardashians because they're using it. And that's what you want to use because that's what they use. And so now though, it's like smaller people like micro influencers and influencers like us can now go on and people want to order from us. And you know what's so crazy to me? Think about this for a second. I've had this like really big aha moment since joining this company. So I joined BioRains expecting this to be another network marketing company, but not going all in like I've gone in the past and not just taking, sacrificing. I wasn't switching one thing for the next. I did join and get really excited for a few weeks and like really went deeper than I wanted and kind of was drowning for a second, but I came back up and I was okay. And so when I logically thought about this, I'm like, okay, it's like, and I talked about this to a few of you, like when you leave an abusive relationship, it takes you a while to start thinking for yourself. And it takes you a while to even realize, and actually, I don't feel like you ever are completed with it. It's never like finished where it's like, okay, I've realized all the things. It's a continual learning progression as you go through your life. You'll constantly keep hearing and seeing things where you're like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I did believe that. Oh yeah, I did think that about myself. And that's where that came from. And that's where I am. I realized that with the government and our food and our health, little things like that, you know, that you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize, like they've been telling us to drink cow's milk this whole time. Like it's just what you're bred to think. So you don't even realize that the thinking is weird until then you're like, that's another thing. Like, yep, makes sense. You know, so you start realizing these little things. And so for me, I came over to this company and was like, I don't want to do things the way that I used to do them and the way that everyone does them. But how do I do things new that I don't know if they're going to work or not? But how do I stay true to what I really feel like I should do versus just what we've always done? And so when I came over, I was like, I need to build a team. I need to get customers. And then I was like, hold on. We make 50% commission with this company. And earning 50% commission off a sale is more money than what you're going to make off of someone being an ambassador and having volume on your team. It's also way less headache because now you're dealing with a person instead of a customer, instead of someone who's like, okay, teach me all your ways. And you're like, okay, let me teach you my ways. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So now I need to teach you my ways. So I realized that I wanted to focus more on customers and getting a really good customer base of what I am offering, the pain points to help people. Cammie hit the nail right on the head of she's promoting products that are helping her people's pain. She's not like talking about weight loss today because that's not what, you know, maybe her people do want weight loss, but that's not what is going to get them to be like, oh my gosh, I'm in pain. This is my pain. That's really not their pain. Now for Alicia, absolutely. Talk about the keto, talk about the hydrate, the challenge, the reset, you know, working with all of that. It's like, that's your person. So you have to know first what products are going to benefit your people. And then getting really clear on your social media content and starting to post about those products. That is what's going to bring customers to you. And ambassadors are just going to come. They're just going to come. We do not need 2 ambassadors on our team to get 50% commission at all. You don't need any ambassadors. And so all you need is to either buy or sell 80 volume. So you don't even have to order. Like you honestly, I mean, you should be, you know, you need content to like post and talk about the products and stuff, but you don't really need to, you know, you don't really need to know how to do anything else. My sister, by the way, is like currently pushing a baby out. I just got a text from my other sister. So I was like, wait, what is it? Before I got on the call, she was dilated to an 8.5. She's having a home birth. And so her midwife and her doula were there and she texted and said she was miserable. So I was like, remember to meditate and just relax your soul. It's like so easy to say. Then when you're having a baby, and then like, I'm like, you'll be fine. Okay. Just take deep breaths. You'll get through this. So my one sister just texted me and she's like, what's going on? What happened with her? Is she here yet? It's so funny. But, oh, we haven't heard, and my mom just said, we haven't heard anything from her since 8:36. And she was at an 8.5. So she like is currently pushing this baby out. Oh my gosh, so exciting. But it really is like, what is your pain points of your person, and start posting about that as products. Like that's what you need to be doing now, because focus on just getting customers. It's going to take you way less time. Think if you just took a couple of hours to plan all your social media posts for the week. And then throughout the day, all you did was take little blocks to respond back and forth to people. And that's all you did. And you made 50% commission, and you made a couple $100 extra a month for now, which should be your first goal, because that's going to pay for your products that you're taking to make money. So that covers your own business cost. Is if you can make a couple $100, stop just focusing on ambassadors, focus on customers. I promise you it's going to be easier people are going to feel the product's working if you have a product that they can feel right away. And you're going to be working a lot less. It's going to feel a lot better. Just get consistent with posting the products and just focusing on the customers, because the ambassadors will come. People who love the products, people who are feeling them work, will want to sell these products. And then you can teach them how you just get customers and how they can make a couple $100s a month. If you built your organization that way, you would retain more people, you would grow faster, you would make way more money. But instead, we focus so hard on ambassadors because, drum roll, that's where we came from. Where we came from was ambassador, comp plan, rank up, advancement. What's your rank? What's your pay? What's your worth? What's your value? Like, that's where you came from. And so it's taken a minute, but I've realized, like, nope, I'm not going to believe that. To be honest, 90% of people I don't really want on my team. Like, I don't. Like, you are not my person. You're going to suck my energy. That's why when I joined Bio, I only communicated with a few people of, you know, who asked me what I was doing and what I was doing, like where I was going and things like that, because I didn't want to bring people with me. like I just didn't want to, because, and even currently now, that's why I have an application. I'm not just accepting anyone to come work with me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you into our circle and be a part of this because you're going to weigh us down, or you're not fully committed yet, or you're not ready to really do this like you should, and you're not all in, and you're not. So like, that needs to wait. Be a customer. And then, and maybe in your company, it's the same depending on who's listening to this and where you are. But if your company has a link for customers to be able to send to their friends and family, like our company does, that's why I really like Bio, is because I'm doing this as an affiliate marketer. I'm doing this as an influencer. I'm not doing this the way that everyone else is building network marketing. Like, I'm just not doing it. Because to me, it's not fun that way, and it's too stressful, and you feel like a loser and you feel like a failure. Instead, I'm focusing on the new way that the world is moving, and the new way people want to buy products, and the new way people are interested. And that's what I'm focusing on. And I know the rest of the world is going to eventually turn and do it this way, because this is the way the world's turning. And what social media platforms do, like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube, that's really what's controlling the world of advertising, because that's where people are advertising now. People aren't buying commercials and putting ads in the paper anymore. They're having real people that are taking their products post and selling more products than they would if they put it in the paper. So this is how the world is going. This isn't a preference or a belief or an opinion. This is facts. This is how people are going to be buying products. So if you are focused on helping the special needs community, then now is the time to turn up the volume. If you're here to validate other abuse survivors, it's time to turn up the volume. If you're here to help women that have had a life-altering diagnosis, turn up the volume. For me, I've had clarity of, I want to inspire people to go and fulfill what God has called them to do. And I am going to turn up the volume. And people that need that also need my products, because they wake up tired. They wake up with anxiety. They wake up in pain. If you're in pain and you're tired, you're probably not really feeling too motivated to go change your life. If you're stressed out yelling at your kids and you're in a bad mood all the time, you're probably not going to feel like going and changing your life. You have to have energy. You have to be sleeping well. You have to be healthy. You have to be feeling good. And if you're not, you're never going to be able to do whatever you need to do. Like, you're just not. So figure out what your value is that you're giving to your people, and make an entire week-long idea chart of all of the things you can post about all week to inspire that person and speak directly to their pain points. And that is all you should focus on right now. Do not focus on anything else. Just get your posts done up until next Monday or Tuesday, or do them for maybe just through the weekend right now, and then figure out your weekend ones in a little bit. But really going through and doing that, because you'll be so much further ahead if you slow down to focus on the plan and then move forward. So don't overcomplicate it. Just focus on the necessities. And that's what I'm going to do is, yes, I have this whole list and this whole brain dump and everything I've done, but what's important are these few things that are super important that these get done. So prioritize, don't get distracted, work on your list, get things done. If you haven't posted a post in a long time that's gotten a lot of interaction, go back through and see what other posts you have made that have gotten a lot of interaction and post something similar to that. And get a lot of interaction to get your Facebook and Instagram up and running and moving again. Spend some time interacting with people before and after the post. Get a post up there to get a lot of interactions, and then go through and post strategically for the rest of the week. So if you guys need anything at all, reach out. I believe in all of you so much. I do. I know that we can do this. I know that you can have freedom, and however that's defined for you, I know it can happen. But okay, have a great day. I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks for being on. Bye.